Welcome to Linux Plus, where we cover Linux, Windows, and other technologies like DevOps and Azure or AWS. Hi, so today we are going to discuss about the public and private key access mechanism, a bit different than the free IPA, but it's going to be very interesting in terms of where you have the public key stored in one of the storage account. For example, you can use Azure, and I have created one of the container. Under the container, we have one folder named our public keys, and we're gonna put our public keys here, and then we're gonna try to access our servers or one server in this case to see if the user can access the server using his private key or not. So we're gonna test how it works. So the server that we have at the moment now is running in Azure. It's got the IP address here 20.39.187.102. I have SSH to it, and I'm connecting at the moment now. So let's see how many users we have. So at the moment now it's only one Linux Plus, which is what is connected at the moment now. So I'm going to create two users. Let's say the user add test1. All right, okay, so let's go to root, user add test1. Okay, user test1 is added. Let's do test2 as well, and let's see how many users are there now. Okay, so we can see the test1 and test2 users are there. Let's make it easier. These two users are new created users. This was initially created when I created the VM. So you can see the difference here. Okay, now let's create public and private key pairs for both users. So we go to SSH-keygen, and we want to do is type RSA and -c for comments. Let's say this is for test1. All right, so we want to put it in the location which is default, root.ssh, but we want to name it as test1 so that we can distinguish from the test2 user public and private key pairs. We don't want to put any passphrase for the key. We want to leave it as it is, as default. But now we're gonna do the second one as well. So we just do test2, and we select, go back here, test2. We go for the root.ssh, and we want to specify this is test2. We want to leave everything as it is, default. Okay, so let's go to cd root.ssh, and we're going to do ls here. We see that here we have two here, test1 public and private, test2 public and private. So we're going to see public key first for test1, cat test1 dot pub here. So we're gonna copy this public key. So we know that this is for because we put initially the comment here. So you can see this is test1. This shows that this is the public key of the account test1 user test1. Yep. So we're gonna copy this one and paste it here. Here. There we go. So paste. Let's do save it. Let's see if we can see this. Okay, so we can see that this is the public key of the user test1. So we have tested and it's working. Let's copy also the public key of test2. dot. Yeah, and we can see that this is exactly the same. It is for different user, test2, and we're gonna copy as well and add it here. Okay, so this was for test1, this is for test2. We can see it here. I'll highlight it as well so it's easy to distinguish. Yeah, so there are two lines. One is for the test1, one is for test2, and it's named as our public keys, but you can name it anything you like. Yeah, cool. So let's do save. So this is saved now here. This is the URL. By the way, you can access the URL when you go here. You will be able to see the URL. You can copy it as well. Let's see if I close this one, I'll be able to paste it. Control V, and you'll be able to see now too. So if you see now, you have now two keys, RSA type 2 keys. You can have a different type, but it doesn't matter. So you have test1 and test2. So you can see that this key belongs to test1, this key belongs to test2. All right. So now we have the address here. Let's see if we can also curl this one, the address. Curl -L for redirect. I want to see what it shows. Okay, so we can see both keys as well in this case. This is the first one, test1, and this is for the test2. Okay, let's see where the curl is hosted. Binary curl. Okay, alright, so that's there. What we're gonna do now, we're also gonna import or copy the private key as well. But by the way, private key you never shared with anyone. It's just for the testing purpose. I'm gonna remove it anyway once I confirm the testing. So let's do cat test1, which is the private key. So you copy all the key here. I'm gonna open the notepad, and this is for the test1. So we file save as. Let's see, I want to save it as test1 dot ppk. So it's a private key extension. Yep. So this is done. Let's copy the second one as well. Cat test2. Yeah, so this is the test2 one. Let's copy this as well, just for the testing purpose, so we know what we're doing. Copy, save as, go to desktop, and we're gonna save it as test2.ppk. Yep, done. So now we're gonna see, we're gonna add, first of all, we're gonna see if SSH is running. System CTL status SSHD. We can see that SSH is running. Status currently active. I just do some testing before, but it's nothing to worry about. Cool. All right. Let's add the path in the SSHD configuration. Just go to cd etc ssh. We'll see we need to go to the overall setting of the SSHD config. This is the setting here where we have to define the URL to access. Okay, we're gonna do vi SSHD, and we're gonna do I for insert, and we need to find authorized key command. We need to find this. Very important, this part. This too. Authorized key command. We need to change this to here in a second. Okay, we uncomment this one here. Uncomment this one as well. So we're gonna say curl -L. And then what was the URL? So we copy this and we do paste. Okay, so this is saved now. Let's do reload systemctl, reload sshd. Let's see if there's any error. Systemctl status sshd. Okay, we know that the sshd it is up here, and it's running, it's reloaded, it's listening. So let's give it a testing now for user 1 first. All right, let's go here. By the way, you need to first make sure that SE Linux is set to permissive. SE status, you'll be able to check if it is set to permissive or not. So current mode is set to permissive. If it's not set to permissive, it's not going to allow you to connect externally. It's going to block it. So the command that you can use is set enforce 0. So this will change it to 0, which is permissive in this case. Alrighty. So let's do the testing part. So we go to first we have to convert the key to PuTTY format. So we load private key. We're gonna do test 1 today first. Okay, it's imported. Now we save private key. Yes. Save as test 1. Yes, replace that. Okay, so this is for the test 1. Now we're gonna load private key for test 2. So we convert the format because it's OpenSSH 2. So we need to save private key. Yes. Test 2, save. Yes. Override. Yes. Alright, so both are saved and change the format now. Now we're gonna find what's the IP address of the Linux box here. We can see here that's the IP address. So let's go and put the IP address here. Oh, my IP address is not working. 2039. Why I can't copy it? Anyway, 20.39 .187.102 .187.102. And here we need to check if we can load the private key of the user test 1 and open. Let's do interesting part here. Let's check the status while we are trying to access this one. Journal ctl-fu sshd. Okay. Alright. So we're gonna type the username as test1. Okay. So we can see that from here the test1 user was able to log in using the public key, as you can see from here. And this is the test1 user here. So we didn't put the password. It's authenticating using the imported OpenSSH key. So we know it's working for test1. Yeah. So who am I? I'm test1. Yeah. Perfect. Exit. So we're gonna try again now for test2, the user, to see if it's working. Why I can't copy and paste? Something is going on. Anyway, 20.39.187.102. And now we're going to enter test2 private key. But before we do that, we're gonna open this one here, so we're gonna see if it's working or not, because this is gonna follow the logs as we log in and see what's happening. Open. So here we're gonna enter test2. There you go. So test2 user is also able to log in using the public private key combination here. So it says authenticating with the public and private key mechanism. So with this one, it's so easy in terms of managing the users. Who am I? I'm test2. So for example, let's say if the user test2, we no longer want to keep him in the company. For example, we want to remove his access. So all we have to do is instead of putting the by the way, normally what happens is if you have 2 or 3 servers, you normally go to the, let's say, etc not here, root.ssh ls, and then you do the authorized keys. You normally have your public keys saved in here, authorized keys of each users. So if it's for the root, it's going to be under the root home directory. And if there's any other users, for example, we have already created 2 users, so that means we'll be able to see under home 2 directories for test1 and test2. So for these 2 users, they have their own authorized keys, which where you can put the public and the private keys, public keys, not the private keys. cd test1. Let's cd.ssh, cd.ssh. So it's not there for the user 1. cd back. Let's cd test2. Not there. Okay, so mostly like any account would have authorized keys folder, you could say, where you can add the public keys, and in this way the user will be able to connect to it using the private keys. So public key, you give it to the person who's going to add these public keys to all the servers which you're going to access, and private key is your own private key which you have to use it to connect to different servers. So in this case, let's say if we want to block the access for test1, what do? We simply go to where we saved the keys. We know that we put the public key for the user test1 here. We just simply remove this one. So we don't have to put the keys everywhere, like in all the servers. We just simply have to remove it from here. This is like you can say a central database where we remove the key from here, and then this user will not be able to log in. We can confirm here that it's also gone for test1. It's only test2 now at the moment. So let's see if we can control D, log out. Let's see if we can try to log in again here. So 20.39.187.102. Okay, and this time we're gonna use the private key of the test1 which we just removed. Let's see if it works. So we also see the logs as it goes. So we go journal ctl -fu sshd. Okay, let's see how it is working. So we say connect, open, but this time we have to say test1 because this is what we are testing. Okay, see, it says server refused our key because server doesn't know about your private key, because the server doesn't have any kind of way to connect to the public key, because public key is removed from where it was trying to access. So we know that from here you only have the public key available for test2. So test2 user will be able to connect to it because we have his public key here. but in the meanwhile, because we removed the test one user, so it won't be able to connect to the server. So in this case here, we can try whatever we like, but it's not gonna let us in. He says his failed password. Try it again 3 times, it's gonna be disconnected again. See, failed password 2 times. So let's say another time, and it's gonna be it's gonna say that's it. All right, there you go. Maximum tries is changed to 5. Okay, something is gonna be. I'm gonna check why. Yep, but there you go. So now we know that the user 1, test 1 user, test 1 user, it's no longer part of the system now, so it cannot connect. So we have confirmed that here now. So what we will do now, we also remove this user from the system. So user del, and we name the user was here, test 1, and -r, we want to remove his home folder as well and everything about it. There you go. So let's see if we want to check if the user is totally deleted now. We do exit password. We know that the user 1 doesn't exist here, test 1. Also, we want to see if its home directory is gone or not. We go to cd home. We will be able to find test 2, but not test 1 because we already removed it. So in this case, it's really easy to manage in terms of if you have a couple of servers, all you need to do is change all the server settings under SSH ls vi config. All you need to do is to change the setting for all servers to point to this address. You need to give the absolute path because here it is pointing to USR binary, and the curl -l is the right command because here the public keys are hosted. So you just add this setting in the SSH setting for each server you want to connect. You want the user to connect to, and in this way, let's say if you have 10 users, you can just add this, the address for 10 servers, and then the users will be able to SSH to these servers just by using the IP address and the usernames. So, and obviously using their private keys. But if they have given you the public keys, and if they are part of, you might be using S3 bucket, or you might be using the Azure storage account, using the web container and blob, URL kind of thing, where you can manage, your public and private keys. So in this way it really helps in terms of managing the users, managing the pure Linux boxes. For example, when you don't have the access to the free IPA, or you don't have any other Active Directory type of setup where you have a proper infrastructure setup that allows you to connect to the servers using public and private keys, or Kerberos and whatnot. So this was a short video where not short videos, already past 20 minutes, but yeah, this was one of the video where I just wanted to highlight this is so important in terms of managing a couple of servers, and this was one of the projects I just wanted to share with you guys. And I'll see you in the next videos. I just got busy with the other things that I had a change of role, so I'll be uploading video or two in just a week or 2 times again. Thanks. Bye.